Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Rob and I talk about high-end collectible comics and comics art. Subscribe if that's your kind of thing. I love to talk about comics and I post 1 or 2 videos a week doing just that. Today is the day. So I've been talking about this book for a while. We've been talking about it, commenting on it, both here and on the CGC forums and in email and messages and all kinds of stuff. So today is the day. Superman #1, CGC 9.0, single highest graded. Probably the second best copy known, but the best copy that you're ever going to be able to buy. It's coming up for sale right now. It has already set a record for the highest price paid for a comic book. Well, I haven't paid for it yet, but it's already at $8.46 million at a current bid of $7,050,000. So with buyer's premium, it's nearly $8.5 million, which is above the highest kind of like reasonable estimate I had for this book, which is great result. And then I had kind of a dream that it would sell for $10 million. So we're going to see soon if it sells for over $10 million. So this video is going to be this kind of short intro. And then next up, we're going to cut to me watching this book go on the Gavel, go for auction. And it's going to be fun. I'm going to comment on the auction as it goes live. And then I'm going to come back here. I'm going to cut back here, and I am going to just talk about it. I'm going to talk about the results. Like I said, it's already a record, so I've already got something to talk about. But we're going to talk about the auction itself, and yeah, it's going to be fun. And yeah, so let's do it. Let's by the magic of editing, we're gonna skip ahead to the auction of this epic comic book found in an attic under newspapers by the Lee family. It's just incredible. Let's do it. Hey everybody, we're jumping in. Right now, he's going on talking about this Incredible Hulk 181, which is, Hulk 181, which is fun. We got a Pep 22 coming up and a Phantom Lady 17, which I'm definitely going to watch. And then Sergeant Fury 13, which I wouldn't have covered, but what the heck, it's here. And then we have the book coming up. So I just wanted to get online early to make sure I didn't miss any of this excitement. So I'm going to turn the audio back on for the Pep 22, the Phantom Lady #1. Then I'm going to get hyped. I'm going to get hyped for the Superman #1 while that Sergeant Fury 13 is going.
Lot 12. $37,000. Now I need 38. Jumping at 38,000. How about 40? $40,000 right away. How about 42
now? I have no idea
now?
what this should sell for.
First
actually.
appearance of
So
Archie in
watch
Pep Comics 22 in a 2.0. Let's go to $42,000. I'm at $40,000. Do I hear 42? Jumping at 42. At $40,000, looking for 42. Let's go to 42,000. At $40,000, do I have an advance to 42? Let's advance to 42. I will say fair warning at 40,000.
I couldn't get the GPA fast enough.
Lot 13.
I wanted this to get to
$36,000. Do I hear 38,000? Jumping at 30 up to $44,000. Now I need 46.
Sold for what? Like $65,000?
46. Now I need 48. 48,000. How about $50,000? Make it $50,000 and the increment jump.
For like $7,000.
I have $48,000. Do I hear $50,000? Come on back in at $50,000. Now I need 55. I have $52,500 on the cut. Do I hear $55,000?
Come on, man.
At $52,500 on the cut for the Phantom Lady 17 Crippen copy. Let's go to $55,000. I'm at $52,500 on the cut. Do I have an advance to $55,000?
I can't believe
Let's advance to 55. Jumping at 55. At $52,500 on the cut, let's advance to $55,000.
The consignor's happy.
Are you going to let them cut you out for only $2,500 more? You should not. Let's go $55,000. At $52,500, I will say fair warning at $52,500.
Oh, bummer.
$52,500.
Someone had to swoop in at the end. They didn't do it. All right, Sergeant Fury. I love Captain America, but just
$11,500. Do I hear $12,000 for the Sergeant Fury number 13?
$20.
Now I need 13,000. I have 13,000.
I am not bidding on Superman.
14,000. It's a prior 14.
Open.
Not with you, Heritage Live. I either need a cut bid or a full increment of $15,000.
Are you all excited?
$14,500. Now I need $15,000.
As I mentioned, I would rather I did this live,
do I hear
but I'm not
15?
set up for live
Jumping at
streaming,
15. I'm at $14,500. Do I hear $15,000?
I know you're out there though, watching it.
Jumping at $15,000. Let's advance to 15.
Let me know in the comments how excited you were.
I'm at $14,500. Do I hear $15,000? Jump back in at
it's already a record. Like it's already a record.
What say you, Heritage Live? I will say fair warning at $14,500.
That happens sometimes. It's just like all the bids are done.
5.
All right, here we go.
1.
Let's do it.
Okay, on to lot 15.
10 million.
Do I need to say much about this book other than that it was found in a closet in San Francisco? It is the highest rated Superman 1 to come out of anywhere. It's absolutely gorgeous. I got to see this in person both before it was graded and after it was graded, and I cannot explain to you how amazing this book is.
Yeah.
We're going to open lot 15 at what?
I would just die.
$7,050,000. I need $7.1 million. Let's advance to 7.1 million. 7.1. It's a
there
prior
it is.
7.1. It's not with you, Heritage Live. I either need a cut bid
moving.
or I need a full increment to make it 7.2.
7.2.
I have $7.1 million. Do I hear 7.2 million?
We need a little bit of
bid
a bidding
on
war
the phone
here.
of $7.2 million. Let's go to 7.3. I'm at $7.2 million on the phones here in Dallas,
Gonna have
Texas.
To have a little bit of a bidding war. Who's on the phone?
$7.3 million.
It's Metropolis.
Let's advance to $7.3 million.
Sorry,
the highest rated copy. Do not hold your breath for one to come out higher than this. $7.3 million. Now I need 7.4. Let's advance to $7.4 million. Jumping at $7.4 million. I'm at $7.3 million. Do I hear 7.4? Let's advance to $7.4 million on the phones. Do I hear 7.5?
Next bid is $9 million.
Let's go to 7.5. 7.5.
There it is, $9 million.
$7.6 million.
Come on, let's get to 10.
Let's advance to $7.6 million. I'm at $7.5 million. Do I hear 7.6? Let's advance to $7.6 million. Jumping at 7.6.
$10 million is crazy.
Let's advance $100,000
really
to $7.6 million. I'm at 7.5. Do I have an advance to 7.6? Come on back in at 7.6. 7.6 on the phones. Now I need 7.7 from you, Heritage Live, or another phone bidder. We do have other phone bidders out there. Let's go to 7.7
Is it one phone bidder?
I'm at $7.6 million. Do I hear 7.7?
Can you imagine bidding on this like on the internet?
Jump back in at $7.7 million. I guarantee you, if you do not get this, you will kick yourself in the morning, regretting every second that you didn't spend the money to get this. I can guarantee it. You will never stop regretting that you do not own this book.
If you have the money for this book,
let's go to $7.7 million.
Go all in. Because
I'm
you're
at
not getting a copy of
7.6 on the phones. He's yelling at me to shut up right now. I guarantee it. Let's go to $7.7 million. I have to give you, it's a lot of money. I have to give you a chance to think about it. Let's go 7.7.
Stop thinking.
I'm at 7.6.
Start bidding.
Do I hear 7.7 from you, Heritage Live?
So close.
I will say, fair warning at $7.6 million.
They just need to go back and forth a little bit.
I have that advance or give me a cut at 7.65. Fair warning. $7.6 million.
Wow, that's crazy.
7502.
So close.
Congratulations to our phone bidder. Congratulations to our bidders. Thank you very much. That is the record of all records for comic books. Thank you very much.
$9.12 million. There it is. That was a blast.
$72,500.
Oh, we got so close.
Do I hear $75,000?
That's a great result, like
jumping
I
at
said.
$75,000. I'm at $72,500. Do I?
Well, that was fun. $9.12 million. Pretty good. I'm kidding. Of course, it was great. So, yeah, I talked about it. I thought kind of 6 to 8 would be a reasonable result for this. To get $1 million over that and start to tickle, at least in my brain, tickle that $10 million barrier is pretty cool. Because this bit here is going to be a little freeform, but it'll be fun. So one of the things that people have talked to me about, they always talk to me about this, right? So I estimate the value of books that haven't sold. Some of them haven't sold since the 80s, right? The Church Action #1 hasn't sold since the 80s. And I estimate the value of that thing all the time, and that thing is way more valuable than anything that's ever sold. It's way more valuable than this. And people say, oh, how can you value something at, $25 million, which is what I had it valued at last week, when nothing is sold for that much money. But the thing is, like, eventually something's going to sell for something, and then you have to push up the number, right? The Church Action 1 isn't worth $9,200,000 because this one sold for $9.1 million. It just doesn't work that way. It's still more valuable than this, right? So, but this is great because I have had several books that are worth more than $10 million on my kind of list of the top most valuable books in the world that I'm working on now. It's a pain. I just have to, like, not do videos for a week and just write that article, but then you guys would miss me. But I'm really forced to do it now because this is like, this is nuts. You know what my next podcast is going to be? It's going to be talking about the values of the top 10 based on this and where this sits in the top 10 and stuff like that. But I've had plenty of books that were worth more than $10 million in that list. The obvious ones are the 2 9.0 action number ones, but also the best Superman number one, which is, we're presuming is better than this. The Detective Comics number 27, CGC 9.2, the Action Comics number one, CGC, not CGC graded, church copy. My brain is fried because this was so much fun today. So those are all worth over $10 million. And it was like, people would hem and haw when I would start to say this. Like, how can you value? Well, this thing almost sold for $10 million. And it's, not one of those books, right? It's close. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. As for the result itself, it was to me, it was funny because I read the CGC forum and somebody commented on, like, the short I just did about this, about how, like, this guy didn't think it would sell for more than the church copy. And even Mitch from the CGC forum was like, thought that this was going to sell for $6,001,000. He was doing the Price is Right thing, basically to say that it would set the record, but it wouldn't, like, blow the record away. And I mean, as you've seen, I've been talking about this thing a lot. I've been putting, my words out on the internet for everyone to see. I obviously believed that it was going to sell for more than the church copy, and I just knew that it was going to sell for more than the record. There's reasons for that, right? I mean, it's Superman number one. The church copy in this situation is Flawed. It's a great book. It's one of my favorite books in the hobby. I could do a whole video on that book. But it's flawed. This is flawed in ways that are, like, much more palatable to people. Yeah, that dust shadow kind of drives people crazy, but, like, it's not missing, chunks from the interior, right? It hasn't been, like, worked on back and forth over 20 years. It doesn't have color touch on the cover, right? And I'm talking about a book I love. I'm not downplaying the church copy. And in fact, if you gave me the two, value aside, I would take the church copy because I just love that book and I love the pedigree and whatever. But we're in a CGC era where the number matters, right? And it's not a crazy thought experiment to come to this value, right? To, like, say that this is a reasonable valuation for this book, which is what I did, right? So church copy sold for $5.3 million. Okay, say it got a bump because it's church copy, which I believe it does. All church books do, really. I mean, even cheap ones. You can't get cheap ones because somebody just wants a church copy. So $5.3 million, even if you say, well, that was, a bubble or whatever, right? So you knock the price down to 5. You give it a 4.8. You give it a 10% discount. And then you give it a 10% discount again because of the church pedigree, like giving it a bump, right? So you say the value, quote unquote value of an 8.0 is, say $4 million, right? Well, this is a 9. This is a 9.0, right? That's worth more. And in fact, if you look at the kind of strategy I use for basic pricing, it should be worth double, which is kind of where I got to that 6 to 8. 6 was the floor because I knew it was going to set the record. I mean, honestly, somebody would have bought it. Like, one of the whales would have bought it just to make sure that the hobby didn't look funky. I believe, right? And that's happened before. You can look back at hot potato books for a while that had a floor underneath them to just, like, not be embarrassing. This didn't need that. I didn't actually think that was, like, going to come into play here at all, but it would have, right? If somehow the market, just died on this book, some meta context just destroyed the ability of people to spend money, then I think I still would have gotten 6 million just because. But clearly that was not the case, right? There were two bidders going at it. There were tons of internet bids, and this thing broke the record before it even got to the live auction. So yeah, that's kind of where I got to 6 to 8 million. And then 10 million is 10 million. It's like, well, it's double the church copy. It's a nice round number. Let's see if we get there. There's a psychological barrier there. It's like, oh, do I want to be the first person to spend $10 million on a comic book? Somebody might want to be, and somebody might not. There's two kinds of collectors. There's those that like don't care and look, will tell you how much they spent, and there's others that go, oh, what did I do? And maybe the person that was bidding, the underbidder, was one of the ones that didn't want to be like, wake up in the morning, I spent $10 million on a comic book. I don't know. I think it'd be cool. Just saying. If it was up to me, I'd do it. I would have done it today. I'm just saying. If it's up to me. So yeah, I mean, I just think it's such an exciting result in that context, right? Like all of the stuff at the highest end of the hobby that kind of I've been thinking about and talking about here on the channel, but been thinking about for 25 years, kind of landed with this book, right? And it sometimes works out that way. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it just works out that way. So that kind of 2009, 2010 period where we just had successive incredible results, that was a period where it worked out, it was sane, and it just changed the landscape. I think honestly the post-pandemic bubble results that we've had, and I guess I kind of include the Superman #1, whenever it actually sold, I think that was a legit result, as this shows, at $5.3 million. But then the Kansas City copy was like post everything and sold for $6 million. And then this, I think that we're in a phase now where it's like, at the highest level at least, there's still some bubble stuff we're working through at lower levels. And I mean, lower levels including like the high grade Tales of Suspense 39 or whatever, right? Like it's not cheap books, but not the highest of the high. I feel like we're having a little bit of that, right? Those three results are really significant. They're real, right? They're not like kind of freaky. Because there's other results from this kind of 2020s that I just wouldn't trust that they would make their money back, right? There are books that have sold for $2-3 million that are worth a third of that. And I've pointed those out previously as well. I've talked about some of those bubble results. So we're clearly post bubble, and the general, the stock market's good, but general malaise in people's minds or whatever. I don't know. This is not an exuberance book. This is not an irrational exuberance sale. I think this is like pretty sober, which sounds funny because somebody almost paid $10 million for a comic book. But what are you gonna do? So yeah, I think this is a legit result, right? It landed where I kind of thought it would, even beyond where I thought it would, but not something crazy. And it really is going to help me recalibrate that kind of top 10, top 25, which I just got to get done. I should just I'll put it out there. Just say I'm going to release that video before the end of the year, and just suck it up and do it. I probably should, especially with this thing. Like the news is here. It's like I have something to work with. People are excited, so I think it's time to just sit down and do it. Spoilers: the #1 book is the Action Comics #1 church copy. Spoilers: the Allentown Detective 27 is #2. One other thought, and actually comment on this if you have an opinion. So Sean Linkenbach, like Overstreet advisor back in the day, great collector of all sorts of things, and one of the people that's spent the most time talking to me about comics over the years, while we were discussing this book, said he believes that the best Superman #1 is basically the third best book in the hobby. Like it's book number 3. And when he said that, and when I looked at how this book was doing, I had to pause, right? Because I have I've had that book in the top 5. I don't remember. But it's high up there. in the collection of a prominent Virginia collector. So his book is the best. It's going to be better than this thing. It just has to be, unless he bought this, in which case there's another copy coming up for sale. But he just like Sean definitively said that, and I was like, I basically just took it like as like that's probably true, right? And I hadn't thought that before, but the way that this book did, and the way that this book has underlined the fact that Superman #1 is the toughest of not just the big 3 DC keys, but like most of the Golden Age keys, right? PEP 22 is tougher, but this thing is hard. It's really hard and high grade. I was like, I think that might be true. So we'll find out. I'm going to actually sit down. I'll talk about it in the podcast, which I'm going to record over the weekend. I'll talk about it in the podcast, like where I think that book, the book we know nothing about, but is better than this, which I'll discuss. Is that the third most valuable book in the world? I lean towards the Detective 27 CGC 9.2 because that's just like such a beast. And realistically, it's the most valuable book that we possibly could see for sale. So I think that has something going for it. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to wrap my head around. If you have opinions, like, okay, best Action 1 is number 1 book. Best Detective 27 is the number 2 book. What is third? Is it, for up until now, it's been the Detective 27 CGC 9.2, which I think is the most valuable CGC graded book. But when Sean said it, I was like, and then this thing sold for $9 million, right? So if the Superman #1 in Virginia is a 9.4, it's a near mint Superman #1. Like, how does that not sell for $20 million, right? Like, I know, again, I'm saying these crazy things, but like, how does it not sell for $20 million? Even if it's a 9.2, like, how does it not double this? Because it's such a unicorn, right? Look at what this book did. And then, so, what is the Detective 27 CGC 9.2? Everyone knows it's the second best. Is that 25 million? I didn't value it that way before, right? So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I will discuss. I'll do more of this sort of discussion in the podcast. I'm probably going to talk about it for an hour. I'm probably going to do an hour. Let's just put it out there right now. I'm going to talk about the top 10 in depth again. It's what I started the podcast with, but I'm going to just go to town because this book is, my brain is on fire. So, yeah, that'll do for now. If you've made it through this, the whole thing, the whole 2 weeks of this book, thanks. It's been a lot of fun, as you can tell. Thank you for all the comments, all the likes, all the whatever. I mean, it's just been great. Little community here is always great, but this has been, we've been having some fun, and of course the people I've talked to off the site as well. So, yeah, I got a video tomorrow on the Comic Connect auction that's coming up. There's some great original art in that, so I'm really excited to talk about that. And the podcast episode is coming up. I'm working on the classic cover tier list, which is going to be fun. A lot of content coming up between now and the end of the year, and I'm going to put a date down. I'm going to put a release date for the new top 25 most valuable comic books in the world, hour and a half long video, because I'm just going to do it. I'm going for it. It's going to be fun. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment what you think about this crazy sale. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.